Okay, so ITZY'S new album is finally here. I feel like they've been teasing this for months now. Anyway, I am going to review the title track as well as the B-sides for it, but first I need to rant a little, so if you want to just see the review, go to the timestamp mentioned on the screen. This is for JYP and JYP alone. Sir, what are you doing? What did these girls ever do to you? Why don't you give them what they deserve? Okay, now rant. Stop the "I'm not like other girls" nonsense. When ITZY first made their debut, I remember listening to some of their stuff and thinking it's only a matter of time before this "I love myself" stuff crosses the line, and it has. There is nothing wrong with heels, there is nothing wrong with makeup, there is nothing wrong with the color pink. Things that are traditionally enjoyed by women are not stuff to frown upon. Liking traditionally male things doesn't make you cooler. Okay. This release is what happens when men make music about women's liberation, and I hate it. Before we get to the album discussion, I think I should mention some stuff. I am personally not a fan of any JYP groups at the moment. I think they all have very generic music and very generic concepts. None of them are pioneers in creativity in my opinion, they are more of trend followers. They are able to make trends their own, that is one thing I admire about them, but on a regular basis their production value, especially when compared with that of the other two big three companies, is always low, in my opinion. With ITZY also, I have seen that their music has cheap production value. What I mean by this is that they seem to always incorporate easily available samples in their music, they always have chorus on repetition, the music that is made for them is very low budget. Again, this is when compared to other groups of their stature. This also makes their music more generic. I love that they started with an empowering, self-love concept, but they went about it in a juvenile way, and I hope to see them grow out of it and adopt more age-appropriate concepts with time. They failed to do that with this release, but I hope they do that with the next one.
Are you listening?
Hey!
I need to sing!
Why did you take my...
I'm a singer!
No, sorry. No, sorry.
So that's why I need an album!
No, sorry.
You know what I mean?
Okay, alright, okay.
Are you listening?
Okay.
I need a song!
Can you calm down?
Cut different camera! Cut different camera, okay.
Sorry. Okay. Alright, so for me, it was to really...
Put my stickers on. 하나 둘 ready, get set, go. Put my stickers on.
Disney Channel original movie soundtrack, JoJo Siwa music, Kids Bop K-pop version, and everything else in between is pretty ideal way to describe this release. I know they said it's a song for Gen Z, but I assumed they meant their age Gen Z and not the Gen Z that still needs their parents to dress them. They have been struggling to find their sound recently. Maybe that's the whole point of this. They tried reaching an older audience and people didn't like it, so they said screw it, I will just make music for the impressionable and let's face it, easy to extract money out of children. They went from Not Shy to In the Morning and then to Loco. Arguably three very different variations of pop. Since none of that worked well for them, I think they decided to go back to their original sound. Maybe that's also why it's so obvious how juvenile the whole production of this song is. We've seen them grow out of the icy stuff into more mature concepts with stuff like In the Morning, and then to see this just feels overtly regressive for them. It also feels so jarring because they are older women now, you know. They're not teenagers, they are all adults, so this feels weird because of that. Anyway, the song in itself is not that bad. For me personally, it's definitely not my cup of tea. I am sure there are people who will enjoy it, so good for them. The vocals are very ITZY, nothing too standout. Chaeryeong's pre-chorus is good. I like Yuna's vocals for the chorus the best. Did the pre-chorus remind anyone of Dum Dum by Somi? The main hook of the song is catchy. I found myself singing it a lot since the teasers were released. I am not very fond of the cheer-like shouts of the post-chorus, it adds to the juvenileness of the song. Here's a thing I find a lot of people mentioning online. People say that what ITZY does is not rapping but speaking words in a song. I don't know whether that's true or not, but they do have very subpar raps. I think Ryujin did her best with what she was given. In terms of the music video, I know there was lots of controversy around them switching their concept so much from the whole royal checkmate vibe to the Y2K sneakers vibe. I don't know why they did that or how any of that ties into the song or the music video too. Actually, the music video makes no sense, it's just about aesthetics. I was also surprised that they had no paid promotions with any shoe brands. I mean, this would have all made a lot more sense if we found out they had a collaboration coming out with Converse or something. Certainly would be better than N-Mix and Coke. Also, why was there no dance break? JYP, what are you doing? When you think of ITZY, you don't think of vocals, you don't think of rap, you only think of dance. Play into your artist's strength, dude. The overall choreography is good. I was waiting for their music bank performance and I really liked it. They do have good stage presence. I am sure it comes with them being good dancers, so they are able to pull off all kinds of choreographies. I love the Y2K styling. I am not very fond of the royal ones for this concept, but the colorful vibes of the Y2K aesthetic go very well with the sneakers. Overall, I am sure there will be people who enjoy this. Personally, I am not baby Gen Z, but rather adult Gen Z, so this definitely doesn't feel like it's targeted for me or matches my taste in music.
Not bad.
Not bad, but not good.
Yeah.
Hey, breaking records on. I'm a race.
I think this track is a perfect blend between ITZY's original sound with Dalla Dalla or ICY and Mafia in the morning. I think the soundscape will be very appealing for its upbeat girl crush vibe. It has all the right ingredients that makes for a good B-side track. The bridge is okay, Leah's vocals fit it well. The beat drop after the interlude is my favorite. I think they can do a killer ITZY choreography in that section. My biggest issue with this, and frankly most of the music, is the cringy lyrics. They're so juvenile. I mean, I can't tell if there is a metaphor to it or are they actually just singing about being a racer. This again feeds into my previously mentioned idea about how this album is for a younger demographic.
I know what I want, I know what I want, I know what I want. Wish!
This is exactly what I mean when I say ITZY'S music has cheap production value. How many times can you repeat the name of the song in the song as a cop-out? Answer, a lot. Unbearably a lot. This just feels like a filler song, like they needed to have 7 songs on the album, so here is one that does absolutely nothing to challenge the artist's creativity. Sadly, I can honestly say this will be one of the more popular songs of the album. I can see a lot of people enjoying this.
Free falling, up, down, I can fly, yeah.
I have a conspiracy theory. Before you roll your eyes, hear me out. I think they're doing this on purpose. I think they know it's bad, but they want us to think that they think it's good, and in turn want us to pretend like that makes it good, but in reality it only makes it worse. This is straight up giving me OO vibes. In the same way as that song, this one doesn't know what it wants to be. It lacks cohesion, it's too confusing, and some parts are straight up annoying. Noise music at its best and also, somehow at its worst. I feel safe when saying this could be one of the worst B-sides ever. I don't understand how JYP could be a producer in this industry for so long and still think that this was somehow a good idea, unless he wants to make bad music for the negative press.
Not thinking about ya. 5 to midnight, TikTok is time.
Honestly, it's a pretty forgettable song. In place of a stellar hook for the chorus, we are given what can only be described as the cringiest rap-style chorus. I mean, the lyrics literally go 3, 3, 6, 5, not thinking about ya. 5 to midnight, tick-tock, it's time. Excuse me, but what are you trying to say? Don't get me wrong, it's still tolerable unlike the previous song, but it's not good at all.
Like a domino, domino. 이대로 쓰러질 맘은 없다고. Like a domino, domino.
If you listen to the album in the order it's arranged, the last line of 365 goes not thinking about you. Then Domino opens with the lines thinking about you. I just thought it was a good touch, makes you realize that the people making this were actually trying to create an album and not throw a bunch of songs together. I think this would be my favorite song from the album. I am a sucker for a good ballad, and this one was done just right. How can they possibly have the best ITZY B-side and the worst ITZY B-side in the same album? Anyway, the change of pace was really refreshing. While all the other songs just blend into one, this mixes things up while still sticking to the overall sound of the album. ITZY is not known for their vocals. Compare them to an average person, then of course they are good. Compare them to their peers and they easily have the weakest vocal line of the fourth generation, but this song does try to showcase their vocal abilities, for which I think they can be appreciated. I think this would be a perfect end of the concert song. I can just imagine them performing it with confetti and balloons falling as they do their closing. Here's to hoping it actually happens.
Put my stickers on. Time up, ready, get set, go. Put my stickers on.
I wonder if it's just there, or do they actually plan to promote in the West with this? My favorite part of this release is getting well-deserved Chaeryeong Center time. I also love how they made a big deal about Promotion Day in Korea. In my previous album review, I criticized aespa for not having a prominent release day filled with content for the fans. This is where ITZY do a better job at that, so good on JYP. Speaking of the aespa comparison, I like that there is a full set of new songs and not just repurposed old ones. All 7 new songs is a good way to go with a mini album. Overall, the album had a few good songs, but only one to my liking, and the concept was also all over the place, so I will give it a 5 out of 10. That's all from me. Let me know in the comments section what you thought of the video and ITZY'S album. Thank you for watching. Bye.